Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Inside Genesee with Shayne Hodges. Today, my guest is Ron Fenner. Ron Fenner is a write-in candidate for Genesee Township Trustees. He's a longtime resident of Genesee County. He's been in the political arena for a while now. Didn't you run 4 years ago as well?
Yes.
Okay, and you feel like there's some changes that need to be made around Genesee Township, and
Yes.
you can be a part of the change that takes a pace.
Like to see things happen, some more things happening rather than just go to a meeting and go home.
Right, that's what it, in these local politics, that's what it looks like. It's just a bunch of meetings, everyone gets paid, and nothing to see here, folks.
And I don't even know what's made public anymore. It used to be.
Right, I noticed there is a website that it's kind of shaky. There's not too much information there on what they do exactly.
Well, a lot of older people don't have internet or want internet, so used to get it out of the paper. What was going on. That's been a few years ago.
Okay. So now you're not on the ballot. You're a write-in candidate.
No, I am on the ballot.
You are on the
Yeah,
ballot.
I went out and collected the votes or the signatures to get on the ballot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I will be on the ballot.
And you're non-affiliated.
No, I'm not. I'm not Republican, Democrat. They don't have independents, so I have to go on in a non-affiliated. So you have to split your ticket to vote for me.
Okay. Now, what does that mean to split my ticket?
Well, if you like somebody in the Democratic Party and you want me on, you have to, vote for who you want on the Democratic side and vote me on the other side.
Okay.
I'm neither one, so.
Okay, so
both
that
of them have
means.
to do that.
So when you say split the ticket, that means someone just can't do straight party voting because they won't find you
on either side.
Okay.
Or I don't get to vote.
And to me, I hope people are already doing that, because regardless, Republican, Democrat, you have to take in account to what the candidate stands for, what they're about. And there's been a lot of issues with the Attorney General and the Governor about the straight party voting.
Yes.
They've been trying to get rid of it. I don't know why, because you would think you just make an X and you vote for all Republicans because you're a Republican. That's not actually a good way to vote, I think,
Well, in the primary, it's not. You don't have a choice that way.
Right, you have to vote whatever party
one way
you
or the
belong
other.
to.
If you don't like this guy and you like this one, you're stuck with whatever.
Right, whatever party.
Yeah.
And that's, and I think what is happening in the political realm of our country in these days is that people are starting to wake up to this party thing. They're both the same thing. Republicans, Democrats, you see what has been happening to our country. Small community after small community is under attack for big business. And that's one of the things that, because I personally feel like with this election for president, we didn't really have a choice. No. It's already chosen for us. But where we as voters have control is our local elections. And our local leaders who have control of our everyday lives, like trash contracts and public safety, firefighters, these are the politicians we need to hold to the fire.
Right.
Because what happens in Washington, D.C., it's, way up the food chain. But as someone who lives, out on the farm in Genesee, you need to know who is your county commissioner. You need to know who is your senator, state senators. And that's where we're finding the change needs to come from.
Right.
Because if you look at how long has Mr. Burris been on a trustee? For a while, right?
Well, yeah, probably maybe 80s, early 80s.
Right. You got a guy sitting there for over 30 years, cream of the crop. They get it right off the top. And
well, they need to do away with these professional, politicians, because it wasn't never set up that way.
No.
And it was set up for a citizenry to go in there, do their job, a couple of terms, get out, and go back to work.
I'm a big supporter of term limits. You look at everyone's favorite Bernie Sanders. Yeah. He's never had a job. He sat 30 years in the Senate.
Yeah.
Come on, 30 years. We're dealing with 30-year. What the term is political hack. A political hack is someone who has never had a job. They're politicians. They go from city council, county commissioner, state rep, mayor, all around, same person.
Yeah.
You know, over the course of 30 years, you've had the same person making every decision of your life.
That's right.
Your house, your property taxes, your water bills, your school systems.
And every time they seem to go up the ladder, they have a little more money that they can buy more votes to go somewhere else.
Like you said, you know, when you go to the meetings, Burton City Council, Flint City Council, these little chamber meetings, all the politicians drive away in brand new cars.
Yeah.
You know, they go to beautiful homes that are all nice and cushy, and donated furniture from banks and special interest groups, contractors. You know, that's the good old boy system, alive and well, right in front of our faces. And while we struggle with high unemployment rates, schools are crumbling. Our school system's a joke all across the country.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money for the private schools, like look at our city in Flint. All the public schools are crashing, but if you get out there right there on Miller Road and look at that big, beautiful, shiny Powers Catholic, come on. Why shouldn't all schools have those benefits? But we see what happens.
Right.
You know, my son, we live in Flint, but he goes to Grand Blanc School, and I look, his classroom's got 32 kids in it because everybody's just trying not to go to Flint anymore.
That's right.
I recognize all these parents that I know live in Flint, but school of choice, send them to the best. That's where all of them, you know, and the thing that kills me about it is schools get money per property tax.
Plus student. Plus the student too.
Right, think about it. So you got Flint schools, low property taxes, or you got, you know, Grand Rapids, high property taxes, nice homes, nice areas.
More money to school.
More money to Grand Rapids than to Flint. You know, I've been paying attention to the profit sharing, the state profit sharing, and there's some things going on where the state may owe communities like Flint and Genesee County money because they didn't pay them the profit sharing they're supposed to. The state of Michigan looks great with their balanced budget, but these little cities have been killed, extinguished. And, you know, one of the things that as our country moves forward and more awareness due to everyone being connected, social media and whatnot, we're going to see this country is slowly being, from the inside out, imploded. Small town America doesn't exist anymore.
You're right.
There's no little white picket fences.
Well, I think that's might be some of the plan in this UN thing that they got, you know, sustainable development. As the research that I've done on it, it looks like it all sounds good. It's got a good veneer on the front of it. But when you get into it, it's controlled by people non-elected. It comes in and dictates to the homeowner and so forth what he can't do,
Right.
and possibly lose your property. We see some of it where they're taxing people to put on a pond and so forth. They just can't do what they normally do, and it's you know,
slowly tightening the screws.
Yeah, and eventually they're going to take his property. You can't pay the fines and fees, you know.
Your
That's
water
what it's all
bill's
about.
going up,
Sure.
your property taxes going up, but your income's staying the same. You're retired, you put in your 30 years,
Yes.
you're retired, you know, this is supposed to be the golden years, but instead you're faced with debt.
It's rough when you get out here, and these seniors, you know, like myself, don't do anything else, you know, which I've done different things when I retired. I made a little bit of money, but not enough. But now I'm on the end, so. But you still have some of them retiring at 50, 55, and look at the ones that aren't employed.
Right.
You know, what they're having.
Yeah, right. They have to come back. They have to come back to work. Walmart greeters and fry cooks, and they have to come back to work, or they won't survive.
Everything they've had.
Right. The healthcare system, you know, everything is crazy.
Yeah, you're right. But that goes to the single payer. They want to go to the single payer and get it over with.
And now that, like we said, that makes it more reason to pay attention to the local aspect of the political game, because you as a regular person who, you know, a lot of people feel their vote don't count, but you as a regular guy has an opportunity to make a change, because once these political hacks and these career politicians are unemployed, Dane Walling, they start looking for different ways, and then the ones that are in power start making the changes needed to keep them jobs.
Right.
So these are some of the things that us as a community, in my community, Flint, there's 67,000 registered voters. You know how many showed up for the mayoral election? 12,000.
Yeah,
that's it.
Many.
Wasn't many. And these people control everything.
Yeah.
Who gets your trash contract? Where the public safety money's going?
Well, I don't know how you wake these people up until it starts hitting their pocketbook and stuff.
Right.
Or maybe that knock won't even do it.
Right. It's crazy.
It seemed like it'd affect people with the inflation that's going on and stuff like that at the grocery stores and so forth.
Right.
The way they manipulate the gas and everything else. But I don't know how you wake these people up.
Right.
But one thing is for sure, if they don't wake up, we're going to lose the country.
Yes, we will. One city at a time, and it's going to be bought up by special interests.
Yeah.
Foreign nationals coming over, China, Germany, Russia.
All kinds of stuff.
They're buying everything.
It used to be that way in New York. Now I guess they own Las Vegas and I don't know how many other places.
California, all the major studios, Sony, and the Toyota
crazy.
Group.
We sold our soul.
NASCAR.
Money. Yeah.
Don't they have foreign cars on NASCAR?
Yeah.
Toyota?
Whatever.
Hyundai? So, you, Ron, what are, I see some of your qualifications. You graduated from Kersley, you have associates from Mott, a business and marketing from Baker, and a Master of Science from Central Michigan.
Human resources.
Human resources?
Right.
How long ago were you in school? How long has it been since you graduated?
94.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's been a while. I got to use it before I lose it.
Right, definitely. So you're well qualified to be the township trustee. What are some of the changes that you think you are capable of, integrating into the community?
One of them, I'd like to get the business owners aware of this sustainable development for sure. Let them know what's going on, because once they see it, they'll recognize it if they're aware of it. Another thing is what I got here. I wrote right here. I'd like to get these people, some young people, into business, go into business, and see if they can get some form of internship.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if there's a mandatory that the government has to pay them so much or not, but they're coming out of school with a bill, $30,000-$40,000 or higher,
right?
Depending on where they went to school and how long. And hands-on with an internship.
Right.
How can you beat that?
That's and that's the way I learn. I have a degree, but I still need to see it a couple times, and then I know what to do. Actual field placement and internship into the human service field is what continued to propel me to want to do this, because you see the difference you make just by telling people where resources are. And I agree with you. It'd be great for graduating college students to have internships into the career field that they want, paid little stipends to make sure that they can survive. Because I was talking to some young people today, and what they're up against is pretty tough.
It is.
The economy's crashing. There's no jobs. Student debt is at an all-time high. They're being, chased after by predatory lenders. What happened at ITT Tech is crazy. Since the government said no more grant money, they shut all their doors on everybody. Wow.
Yeah, and what happened to the accreditation? Did they go with them, or what they had? Did they lose it all?
Right, and that's the thing. What's next for all those students? Imagine if you just needed one more class at ITT and they shut you out. All that time wasted, all that money. I did see that the government had something on their webpage, Department of Education, about possibly getting your loans discharged. So that would be helpful, but think of all the wasted time. You got to start over on that degree.
Yeah, it's a lot of time. It took me over 20 years to do this.
So, there's so many, and like we're saying, everything starts in your local government.
Right.
So, I wish you luck. November 8th, look on the ballot for Ron Fenner. He's non-affiliated. He has some ideas to try to move Genesee Township forward. Time to break up the old buddy system, Mr. Burris and Mr. Jean and Sutton, and Whitty, how long have they all been there? What have they done? Nothing but had meetings. It's time for a change. Somebody who's from the county. Didn't one of them not even live in Genesee County at the time? A couple of them?
I heard that, but I haven't been able to prove that.
It's hard to prove, right. But,
yeah, well, 2 of them, in fact, I've been told, as I went around and hit a few doors, they've told me. So it isn't something I made up, and, people don't care, what can you do about it?
Right.
I mean, it's their government. I'm sure it's happened in the federal government. We've seen it with Clinton go to New York, get residency, and
become a senator.
Yeah, become a senator.
Must be nice.
At least she got residency there to do that.
Right.
But some live in different places, and they come in and run, and then they try to, go through the procedures in that township and don't even live there.
Right. Oh, we've had a couple of those, haven't we, Mr. Freeman, Mr. Kincaid?
Freeman,
we know.
Freeman was outside of it too.
Oh yeah, that's why he was forced to resign.
Oh, was that
They
right?
caught him.
Oh.
We know what happened. We know. So take a look at the viewers and tell them what you can do if they elect you as the trustee for Genesee Township.
Well, one of the things is I'd like to get the businesses, get to know the people that run the businesses and see how they're running, how they're going, see how their security is down there for them. See if they're safe and stuff. Get some input from the businesses, what the township could possibly do if we can do it, and what's good for the people. If it isn't good for the people, a township is just a township made up of people. It's got to benefit the people. And help those people out, see what we can get going, and talk to different business owners, which I have done now, just going out campaigning. Talk to a few, tried to. Some don't care, but some of them do, and they're interested. But that's what I'd like to do, and find out more actually what the trustee is supposed to do.
Right.
I'm sure it's supposed to be an intermediator. From
Definitely keep an eye out, like the watch guard over the budgets and the school monies and the public, the millage monies, and
Genesee schools out here. I don't know why they don't have a sinking fund. I know Kersley does. It's a fund that set money aside for certain problems that may arise. And
new gym floors, new roofs.
Yeah, rather than go to the
disasters.
people for more money because you have a problem.
Right. Be a little more proactive than reactive with the funding.
Everything is reactive, and especially when you get into federal stuff, that you're dealing with, even though it's in a local area, federal schools run it, basically. The school board, don't have a lot of say anymore. It's told what to do, how to do it, where to do it, and how much they're going to get, and if they get it, and so forth. So if they could take some of that extra monies that they get, and rather than put it all in administration, back in the Watts riots, it was proven that the kids didn't have pencils and maps and stuff. They were so outdated, it was pathetic.
Right.
This is back, 60s.
Right.
So
67.
There's money there to go around. It don't take a lot of money to educate a kid. People do it at homeschooling, and they don't have the money.
Right.
And the kids come out great.
Right.
So it's going in somebody's pocket.
Yes, it is. It's always administrative fees.
It's always,
and meeting costs and catering coverages.
And it's not my money, so who cares what they do with it,
Right. Sign that check, deposit it, like we're seeing. And can you believe these principals? Detroit Public Schools, which is failing. The principal's driving a Maserati. Flint Public Schools is horrible. Buildings are crumbling, but that superintendent Waleed is getting over $100,000 a year, living lavishly. I don't get it. I can understand if you're in a strong community with good schools that are producing high test scores, making a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think that's how their pay should be based.
It should.
Should be based on incentive. You get this job, base pay $50,000 a year. Can you turn it around?
Yeah.
that's when you start making more money. But it doesn't happen. They give them this good money, and they stick around for 4 years and take off, and the next guy lines up, probably buddies and pals. And
kind of like a football analogy there, where you have a coach that can't win. They fire him, and the next guy picks him up over here and puts him on as a coach.
Right.
And you just kind of, well, what's going on here? He couldn't win over here. Nobody's gonna,
Now he's going to win here for some reason.
Well, he's got the personnel over here.
Right.
See, when he starts winning, then he's praised. See, he didn't have the personnel over here. Why don't they fire the players?
Right. But the reward system's all been out of shape. Guaranteed contracts and salaries that are just astronomical amounts of money. That these, this is our money. When you make a check and you see all those deductions, that's the money that they're using.
Oh, yeah.
And it's horrible to see it abused in such shameless, right in your face ways. It's like they're taunting you.
You don't care.
Right. I'm going to drive away in a new Cadillac and you're going to take the bus.
Yeah.
It's overpriced because I raised the money because I need my Cadillac payment money.
That's right.
So.
Exactly right.
Well, Ron, thanks for coming in today. Be on the lookout for Ron Fenner, Genesee Township Trustee. Circle that dot. Fill in the oval. Support Ron here. And thanks for watching.
Thank you.